Number 4. The threat of the invisible. Number 8. The brain's janitorial shift. Think of your brain like a ridiculously cluttered attic full of mismatched furniture and questionable souvenirs. All day long, you're stuffing things in there. Memories, sensations, random song lyrics, and the email you immediately forgot about. Now imagine trying to organize that attic while also hosting a party. Impossible, right? That's your waking life. Dreaming, it turns out, is your brain finally locking the doors, turning off the noise, and starting the massive organizational cleanup. One of the leading theories, the activation synthesis model, suggests that while you're asleep, your brainstem, the most primitive part of your brain, starts sending random electrical pulses to the cortex, which is the higher thinking part. Instead of ignoring this chaos, your cortex does the only thing it knows how to do. It tries to make a coherent story out of the static. It's like throwing a bunch of random words at a poet and asking for a sonnet. The result is often nonsensical, deeply personal, and occasionally features your high school math teacher writing a giraffe. It's not necessarily a message from the universe, it's just your cortex frantically trying to make sense of the noise before the sun comes up. Number 7. Why dreams are so absurd. Ever wonder why your dreams never follow the rules of physics, logic, or basic human decency? That's because the part of your brain that handles all those things, the prefrontal cortex, is clocked out for the night. The prefrontal cortex is the stern, sensible boss who tells you not to eat an entire jar of pickles or wear mismatched shoes to a business meeting. When you enter REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming happens, this area of the brain basically goes on silent mode. It loses connection with the rest of the brain, particularly the limbic system, which is where emotions and instinct live. Without the boss there to filter and censor the information, the emotional, creative, and impulsive parts of your mind run wild. This is why you can calmly accept that your dog is suddenly wearing a suit and trying to sell you insurance in one moment and be utterly terrified of a sentient pile of laundry the next. Dreams are essentially the uncensored, unedited rough draft of your consciousness. They are the thoughts your brain would never, ever let you have during daylight hours because, let's be honest, they're ridiculous. Number 6. Emotional therapy in fast forward. Have you ever woken up from a stressful dream and felt oddly better about a problem you were facing? That's because your dreams are secretly your brain's night shift therapist. This is the emotional regulation theory. When you're awake, dealing with life's little disasters, your brain processes the event, but the raw emotional data gets tagged and put on hold. Your job during the day is to be rational and functional, not have an emotional breakdown over a rude text message. But at night, the dream state allows your brain to reprocess those emotionally charged memories in a safe, low-stakes environment. Think of it as exposure therapy while you're unconscious. Crucially, while the emotional centers are highly active during REM sleep, the primary stress chemical norepinephrine is virtually absent. This is a massive evolutionary hack. It means your brain can revisit traumatic or highly stressful memories and strip away the toxic emotional charge, all without triggering the full-blown stress response. This is why you can dream about being chased by something terrifying, but wake up feeling resolved, not panicked. The dream allows you to experience the fear without the chemical fallout. It's not about predicting the future or solving an equation. It's about chemically disinfecting the emotional junk from the past so you can handle the real world the next day. Your dreams are basically your personal, free-of-charge trauma cleaner. Number 5. Simulation theory, but scarier. This theory is a throwback to our hunter-gatherer roots, and it makes a ton of sense if you think of your brain purely as a survival machine. It's called the threat simulation theory. The core idea is that dreams function as a biological defense mechanism, allowing us to simulate dangerous scenarios without, actually dying. Our ancestors couldn't practice escaping a fire or evading a predator during the day. That was game time. So, the brain evolved the ability to run these stress tests at night. When you dream about being chased, falling, or desperately trying to fight off an attacker, your brain isn't just entertaining itself. It's actively rehearsing your fight or flight responses. You're practicing decision-making under duress. This theory explains why dreams are so often negative or fearful, with conflict occurring in over 70% of dream content. It's not about fluff, it's about survival. You wake up with no scratches, but your brain has just completed an intensive, personalized virtual reality survival training course. Your mind is essentially telling you, thanks for the nap, now here are 10 new ways you could die just in case. Number 3, brainwashing, but it's you doing it. We've established that dreams are a form of nocturnal psychotherapy and survival training, but they also serve a fascinating and, frankly, kind of manipulative purpose: predictive conditioning. Your brain is constantly generating models of the world, and it uses dreams to test and reinforce these models. Think about learning a new skill, like playing the piano or perfecting a skateboard trick. You practice all day, but the next morning you feel slightly better at it, even if you didn't touch it. That improvement happened in your sleep, and specifically in your dreams. Your brain was running thousands of simulations of the difficult task, essentially practicing without moving a muscle. This phenomenon, known as sleep-dependent memory processing, suggests that dreams are critical for improving motor skills and problem-solving abilities. Your brain is giving itself homework, then grading itself, and finally running drills until the skill is locked in. If your consciousness was a student, your dreaming mind would be the strict, slightly unhinged private tutor who keeps you up all night practicing the same impossible equation until you solve it. The unnerving truth is that your dreams are actively changing who you are while you sleep. Number 2, the default mode network conspiracy. Here's a theory that explains why dreams feel so deeply personal and yet so incredibly disconnected from reality. It all comes down to the default mode network, or the DMN. This is a newly discovered network of brain regions that becomes highly active when you're not focused on the outside world. When you're daydreaming, remembering the past, or pondering the future. Essentially, it's the part of your brain that handles your sense of self and your internal narrative. It's the you machine. When you're awake, the DMN is constantly being interrupted by sensory input, social demands, and the urgent need to not walk into traffic. But when you're asleep and your prefrontal cortex is taking a nap, the DMN is largely left to its own devices. It fires up and starts generating content centered entirely on you, your deepest insecurities, your biggest fantasies, your most confusing social interactions. Because it's cut off from real-world logic, the DMN pulls its material from disparate memory fragments and emotional residue, weaving them into a personalized epic where you are always the star, even if you're failing to take a test you didn't study for, or flying without a parachute. Dreams are essentially the DMN running its own self-referential, slightly narcissistic, and highly randomized reality show. Number 1, the overfitting prevention mechanism. This is the most meta, computer science-y, and satisfyingly strange reason why we dream. It's called the overfitting prevention theory. In the world of artificial intelligence, overfitting is a problem where a machine learning algorithm learns the training data too well. It memorizes all the minor quirks and noise instead of the general, useful patterns. When this happens, the AI can't function correctly in the real world because it can't generalize. Your brain, the original supercomputer, has the same problem. Every day it's flooded with an insane amount of data. The exact shade of your neighbor's socks, the precise shape of a specific cloud, the slightly chipped paint on the coffee mug. If your brain archived all that irrelevant noise perfectly, it would overfit its model of reality. It would get bogged down in useless details. Dreams prevent this. They flood your neural network with random, bizarre, and illogical synthetic data, the dreams themselves, that forces your brain to let go of the rigid, over-specific memorization of the previous day's junk. By introducing chaos, the weird dream logic, your brain is forced to focus on the truly important stuff, the broad patterns, the core emotional lessons, and the survival data. Your dreams aren't just filing things, they are intentionally corrupting the useless files to make your core operating system faster, smarter, and less obsessed with unnecessary details. The ultimate reason your dreams are so weird, it's your brain protecting itself from being too good at memorizing boring things.